Yeah, I'll do this one. Hey, good morning and welcome to Hot Topic this morning. Of course, I'm Jess, Lujan, and this is being live streamed on KUAM Facebook as well as being taped for TV1 and GN and to be shown, I think, almost simultaneously. So, anyway, again, welcome this morning, Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. For those Facebook viewers, it's D-Rod, Senator D-Rod.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule. Senator, I just want to cut to the chase. There's been kind of some controversy in regards to Bill 70-34, your introduction, you alongside other colleagues. I think the senator that has oversight of education, Senator Joe Augustine,
yes,
as well as other, and I think you got bipartisan support in this. And I know what you're trying to do. I mean, you're trying to resolve the situation up at Simone Sanchez High School. Unfortunately, you got a little bit of bashing for supposedly not making phone calls to whatever it may be. But the intentions were not to discredit or to do any malice in regards to that. You're trying to resolve the situation and for once and for all, get the situation, get the school fixed and built. Yeah,
that's right. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yes, you know, we introduced this measure. Senator Augustine, Senator Talina Nelson, Tommy Morrison, and Fernando Esteves has joined me in introducing this measure, and this was really in response to the years of cries of our students and the faculty and the parents over at Simon Sanchez High School in Jico. And so what we're doing with this measure is providing alternative and facilitating what is already established in existing law, which is the conversion of a public school. You know, we looked at the existing law on charter schools, and it already allows for conversion to happen. There's a process for that. And so we're not changing that process. And so, you know, all we're saying is that let's take now the government procurement, which is a mess, out of this picture, and do what we do with charters is we provide them a set amount of money per student. And if a charter or if an organization, a group of teachers or administrators and parents come together and believe they'll be able to provide a quality education to our students, and also be able to finance building a new facility up at Simon Sanchez, the existing location, then why not? Why are we afraid to hear those proposals?
Okay, so some of the question will be, okay, so the amount, what I said, $6,500? $6,500, okay. So where would the money come from then? Would it then be, if I was a charter, I wanted to charter, and I guess I wanted to turn Simone Sanchez into a charter school. Would it be then the onus would be on me to find the grants to build? Is that how that works out?
Absolutely. And so based on that allotment, you know, let's say it's 2,000 students. That's 13 million. That would be allotted per year for that charter. And with that, you would use it to educate the student and also use it to pay operations and to use it to amortize building that facility. And it's not something new. You see private schools that are operating this way. They're based on tuition. Less than $6,500 per student, some of the private schools. And the current existing charter, I think there's 2 charter schools. One of them, I believe, is getting rent-free. I'm not too sure, over at Tizen. The other one pays for their own facility. And so we're looking at that model. We're able to do that, decentralize the operations, and really put the control back with the students, with the parents and the teachers.
And you know, Senator, I just want to say, because we have been talking about this in regards to you were a guest on my TV show in regards to healthcare and what is coming with the new administration, because there are some knowns, there are some probably anticipations of what's happening. We know that this president, is very big on school choice. Very big on school choice. We also know that he is just adamant against public education in regards to students not being, again, provided with what they should be provided. He's definitely a supporter of vouchers, a supporter of charter schools. That being said, I think you came in again with your concept at the right time, knowing again that down the line, I know his pick for Department of Education, of course, over there, she's a big advocate, I think, charter or even voucher. Okay, so I think you came in the right time with that. But where are we at in regards to the administration again, in regards to DOE? What have we known so far? What are the knowns at this point now that we're getting? I mean, we're into the 100 days of the Trump administration.
Well, I haven't heard anything specific. I know just like you've stated that the White House, the Trump administration is leaning towards the choice program, the voucher, the charter school concept. And when we introduced this, that was in the back of my mind in looking at it. But really, the driving force in this is the students at Simon Sanchez. I go there and I'm invited to speak to students there every so often. I was just there maybe a month ago before we introduced this measure. And I passed by this wall that 4 years ago, October 11, 2013, that they did this walk in the shoe of a shark. And I got my hand, and other senators that came put in paint and put our hands on the wall and said, we took an oath that we're going to do everything we could to fix that school. 4 years has passed. We tried everything, I believe, in the legislature to get it to where we're at today with the RFP, but that system has failed us. Has failed the students. And I know there's a measure in front of us now. Senator Ada has introduced a measure, and I spoke on it yesterday. But that again is just set up to take us down the same path.
To be challenged again, right?
To be challenged. You have the contracting agency saying they're against that bill. You have one of the protesters agreeing to that bill and testimony that was provided, and then you have the winning bidder against that bill. So we're going to end up in the same position we're at today. And all we're saying, let's try an alternative option.
Yeah, there we go. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, again, I think one of the winning bidders says, "Hey, this is going to continue to go, going to be challenged, and until I think the losing bidder finally wins the bid," or something like that. But anyway, hey, we're going to take a quick break to, again, the live stream audience. We'll be right back with you guys right after a quick commercial break. But if you're listening, of course, on radio, we'll still be on with you. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. So Senator, anyway, as we continue with this, moving forward with this, again, as one of the supposedly winning bidder, who's yet to be really awarded, officially awarded that, you already had the supposedly winning bidder said, hey, look, this will continue to be challenged until the losing bidder finally wins. So what you're saying with this bill that was introduced that you guys are talking about in session will take us down that same road again.
Absolutely. I hate to be a pessimist. I'm usually not. But based on what we've seen, and even based, I read the testimony of the Deputy Director of DPW, and he said in that testimony, this is one of those large contracts with the government. There's high stakes involved here. To me, the high stakes are, of course, these companies that are looking at the potential profits. To me, our interest should be looking at the high stakes of the students, providing them an environment that's conducive to learning.
But let me ask you this: what is the difference then? Because that's a rebuild. I don't think you can be a remodel. I think that's a rebuild. Okay. What's the difference with that as opposed to John F. Kennedy High School as well? I mean, that was closed down. I mean, the AG went in there. Right. The AG went in there and closed it down. And of course, a lot of pressure from the community, the teachers and students came out protesting continuously. Get our school built. And as a result, it cost the government a lot of money. But there's a school built. So what's the difference between that rebuild and the JFK rebuild and that? Why are we having so much problem with that? We're supposed to. That one was more of a just. They didn't know how to move on.
That's right. That's right. No, and and that's the same questions I asked and scratch my head. I scratch my head on. But Senator, this option, I think, is an opportunity for us as a community to really rethink it, because this law that we're using to go out for this RFP, 32-120, authorize $100 million to go out and build Simon Sanchez, and also use that money to renovate the 34 other schools, right? And so as we introduced our bill, we looked at the financing and said, look, this is an opportunity here for us to be able to
to be able to go.
Oh, sorry. Okay. It was an opportunity for us here to look at this at a different model.
Welcome back to our Facebook viewers again. My in-studio guest, of course, is Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. We're talking about Bill 70-34 that was introduced again to charter the Simon Sanchez High School to get it done. So Senator, as we talked, and of course our radio listeners, we just kind of reiterate for our live stream viewers as well in regards to the introduction with that, because you had said prior to going to break that the bill that you guys are discussing in session basically will take us down the same road. You have you have bidders, you have DPW against it, and so going down the same road, we're not really doing anything different. So, but you also on the other hand are getting some criticism in regard, even the mayor and some of the students and teachers saying, hey, wait a minute, we're not going to have, my understanding, they're not certified teachers and you didn't consult me and things like that. So either way, I mean, so where are we at?
Yeah, so just going back to the bill we have, I think one of the most important floor amendments that failed to pass yesterday was an amendment by Senator San Augustine, which was to set a cap on how much it would cost to build Simon Sanchez. He proffered to set a cap at $75 million for Simon Sanchez. I said if it had it my way, it would be lower, because public records show that the 3 bids that came in, you have a high of $89 million, one for $82 million, and one for $63 million. So we already know how much it's going to take. You know, and the one who won the bid is $89 million. For what reason, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there was reasons that people can justify, but I don't understand that. And so if we don't have a cap set on this $100 million, then sky's the limit. The people of Guam are giving a blank check to say whatever it takes, build it. And you know, we want to get it built, but we have to be responsible in doing that. We have to think about the other schools that need the improvements. And this bill that we have, Bill 70, gives us that opportunity to kind of regroup and say, if we can shift the building of the school to a charter school, if they're able to afford with that $6,500 per student to build the school, that's a win-win for the people of Guam, because now we have that $100 million. I don't think it'll cost $100 million for the other 34 schools, but then we have that resource to be able to truly fix the other schools.
You know, and I know the charter school, the author of the charter school was, of course, former Senator Judy Wampak.
That's right.
She authored that, so she definitely believed in the charter school concept. Otherwise, she wouldn't have introduced the bill, right? Now, one of your co-sponsors, of course, is Senator Joe San Augustine, who is the again oversight chair of the
former chairman as well of the board.
Of the Board of Education. So he has knowledge. He has definitely some good intense knowledge. He's also a numbers guy. That has knowledge not only in numbers but also in school operations and things of that nature. So you're not going in this really flat-footed. You
Absolutely not. And so it's we did our homework. I spoke to Speaker Wampak about this as well, because it was her law. You're right. And I think the charter law she wrote was perfect, was really good. And so that process of how a charter would need to get approved is still there. The only thing we changed is that instead of going to the council, which right now is I believe is defunct, it doesn't have a quorum, then you go directly to the Board of Education to get approval. So this bill is an option that says DOE go out and seek applications for anyone that wants to run a charter Simon Sanchez school. And from there, they would make the decision of who would be be granted that charter. A possibility, Senator, is that nobody comes up and applies to be a charter. So we're back in square one. But we can't not do this.
Well, here's the thing that I'm listening. I hear that you said that people that oppose the bill. I mean, the one you're discussing in the session right now. The opposition. We're again the DPW, right, and I guess some of the bidders as well. And when I'm hearing the arguments, in opposition to your bill, and I'm going, well, wait a minute, because these are some of the arguments that we heard against charter schools in general. opposing the bill in general, not your bill in general, but opposed to start charter schools in Guam. And I'm going, wait a minute, because a lot of these questions are already answered. You know, I know that the mayor, I mean, the great mayor Rudy Matanali in Jigo, but those questions already have been answered in regards to, well, we don't even know whether these students or these teachers are going to be certified, so therefore they're, you know, maybe they're not teaching them correctly or things of that nature or a standard. So those things have been answered already.
If I could speak a little bit about that. Yesterday we were invited to the
PTO or
PTSO, right?
Something like that.
And there was about 3 administrators, the mayor, and one of the president of the student, the PTO. I was kind of saddened that there was no teachers there, you know, because we were there, Senator Sanasi and I, to answer questions. Where we're going to a student assembly later this afternoon, and then May 2nd, the mayor, at our request, is organizing a town hall, hall there. But you know, the questions that are arising about well, charter schools don't have certified teachers. That's true. They're not required to have certified teachers.
Neither is Harvard. Harvard, I don't think is certified by the Western.
And so you have you have private schools here. We can't discount that they provide quality education, and they're not required to have certified teachers.
That's right.
And so, you know, I recognize the value of being certified, but we also have to keep our minds open and look at the value also of perhaps you know, administrators that are in the system now, that teachers that want to take control and decentralize themselves from DOE and be able to run a charter. So I asked the principal yesterday, Mrs. Masnai, and I said, Mrs. Masnai, this is an opportunity for you and your teacher parents. Create your charter. We know already. We have 3 bidders that said they want to build. You have one if you want a 89 million, 82 or 63. Go to them and say, hey, we know how to run a school. Can you work with us and build the school?
Well, one of the criticisms then says, well, wait a minute. It's not that. It's, Senator, look, the problem is the procurement situation is broken. Fix the procurement.
And we tried over and over. I think there was efforts to try to do that, but in this world where the losing bidders have the right to protest, we can never change that.
We're going to take a quick break again to the Facebook viewers. We'll be right back. Those listening on radio, we're going to continue. Come on, we'll be right back. So Senator, so what is the response to that? I mean,
the response is that you have a system where anyone could protest, regardless if you change. Even if we pass Senator Adams' bill today, the fact remains that if we use that what is based on that law, the new law, then anyone, the proposals can protest again. And they have that right.
They definitely have the right to do it, and it continues. I mean, I think former. I guess the chairman of the Republican Party, who's whose company I think, right? Phil Flores, right? I think he's the main guy for the company, the winning company. I think it said, you know, this is going to be constantly protested by the losing bidder until eventually they write it in the sense that they're going to get it. And so that being said, eventually it's written to the point where it favors the losing bidder, then they would now come and then protest it again and say, well, so you're going to keep going and going and going.
And so this option removes the government from that procurement and the government sticks to what we need to, which is ensuring that the adequate education of our kids, ensuring they have a facility that's conducive. That should be our role, right? Take off this the procurement part from our role and provide that in this opportunity that's already authorized through the charter law.
So in your meeting with some of the stakeholders of Simone Sanchez, what was your takeaway message for that? What was your takeaway for that?
I think the takeaway was that we should have provided more education on this bill. And I said, okay, I apologize, we didn't provide on the front end, but we will. There's a point in time, when there's a public hearing. When we have roundtables, the committee who wants it has roundtables. That's where that process happens. But we're seeing that now with the student assembly that they're having today. May 2nd, the mayor's town hall, where we'll be able to also share our perspective. And then again, the official public hearing of this bill.
Okay, so you'll have probably roundtables, and maybe if need be, you have more than one public hearing.
That's right.
Regarding that, until I guess everybody's educated. So the takeaway message was there. Yeah, we should provide you more information up front, but we're moving forward here now. It's formally introduced. It doesn't mean the next session or the next 2 or 3 sessions that's going to go on the floor. Now you're going to get more information out there, and your bill might evolve.
Absolutely, and that's the whole process. Is it evolves to be a better bill, and that's what we hope for in any bill that we pass. But the bottom line here, Senator, is that even if we pass this as is today, it's not going to say we're converting that tomorrow. There's a process.
Sure.
DOE must go out and seek applications. The DOE board, the law is a minimum framework of how a charter should be. The DOE board can add to this, and so it's important that we go through that process.
Okay. And of course, we're back with the Facebook viewers with Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. Actually, for the folks that are listening on the radio, we're going to just kind of again repeat some of the things that I asked them when we were off the live stream. But Senator, in your meeting with some of the stakeholders that were there, what was the takeaway message that you got that you can assure again the stakeholders, whether they were present or not, that now moving forward, all their thoughts and views will be counted, and that I'm sure your bill will evolve.
Yeah, absolutely. So the takeaway there last night from the PTO meeting was that we're going to provide them more information. We'll provide them a fact sheet on May 2nd when we have the town hall there, and then we'll accept their feedback and comments and see how we can accommodate that to make the bill a better bill. The bill will evolve just like any other bill. If it's for us to be able to strengthen the bill to make it better, we'll do that. The bottom line is that this bill is in direct response to our students, and it's a direct response to ensure that our students have a facility that's conducive to learning and provide them the education that they deserve.
I know you're a big proponent, of course, of students with disabilities and all that. One of your bills, I think, is being heard, right?
Yes.
A couple of bills being heard at this point. Now, for the folks listening out there, in regards to charters and what have you, right? Now, if Simone Sanchez is converted into a charter school like other charter schools here, would they still be able to accommodate again students with disabilities?
Well, we're going to make sure we'll make it crystal clear, because the bill as it's written now states that the current student population has priority over at the if it's converted to a charter. We didn't say if you have a disability you can't come. It says the current existing population. And so that means that if it's a charter, you must take on the students. We'll make it crystal clear, because we hear that's one of the concerns. We'll make it crystal clear in the bill, in the amended bill, that special needs students must be accommodated, and whoever charter is going to take over.
And it's I guess it's federal law, right?
Absolutely.
And you're getting federal funding as well.
And it's a public school. I mean, charter is publicly funded.
Yeah. It's not a giveaway.
That's right. And so we'll just to make sure, because the intent is to mirror the Simon Sanchez today with the teachers, with the students, and do it and move it to a new facility within that same property. And of course, the teacher issues are the charter would have to determine whether they would pick up the teachers. To me, I think it's a natural thing. There's a teacher shortage on island. Right? So a natural thing is that you take on the existing teachers that we have and use them in the charter. The current law protects teachers and says that you are still considered a GovKUAM employee. The charter must continue to make your retirement contributions. I believe it's called your leave of absence from the department, but your service is continuing to be counted.
Now, I know the union came out also and publicly opposed the bill. What was their main opposition?
Well, those I believe it's the certifications, the issues with the teachers, and the usual union oppositions to charter.
Less power. no comment on that. but I'll say that I'm not a union guy. Believe me. Tomorrow, get rid of unions. All unions should be banned from Guam and everywhere else. I'm not a union supporter. But anyway, that being said, I know you've got a couple bills that are being discussed as we speak, basically, in the legislature. One of them, of course, with the autism, and then something about again with animals and healthcare.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
So it was moved to the voting file yesterday. We have Bill 17, which is the Animal Assisted Intervention Bill.
Okay, okay.
This calls for our government agencies to start to put guidelines in place to look to see the value of animals, especially dogs. Dogs are the closest to humankind, right? And so we see, I mean, if you just do a Google search, you'll see all the benefits that therapy dogs can do for patients who are sick, patients who have mental challenges, vets that are coming back from war. And there's so much benefits, and so we're asking the different departments to start putting it into place. The prison program, before we introduced this bill last term, we worked with GAIN. We got them hooked up with DOC and started. And I know that they're starting to talk and do some collaboration to use. You know, we have a stray population problem, right? Sure. Is that let's take advantage of that. Sure. If we have strays, maybe the inmates at DOC can be used to train these animals. Sure. And then use them for the benefit of our community.
And you're right, because we don't see a lot of animals here, dogs in particular, again, you know, helping out maybe with the blind, the deaf, and yeah, we see that all over where they're being used in even detecting with your blood sugars down and things of that nature.
You know, the bill that we did yesterday, I moved the amendment to name it, the namesake is SIVA. SIVA's Animal Assisted Intervention. Okay. We had a DOE teacher, special needs teacher, that testified about her struggles when she first came to KUAM. She brought a German Shepherd who was her service dog. The department gave her a hard time. She had to fight it and go through the administrative process, and she eventually won her case and had her dog SIVA with her in the classroom. She talked about how students would not read, would not respond to her, but because of the dog, was able to do it.
There we go. Hey, well, does that conclude us, Jason? Did that conclude us? Okay, well, thank you very much. Senator, can you stay for a little bit? Talk to us a little bit more on radio, but we have got to say goodbye to our Facebook viewers, okay? So, adios, this is Masi. Thank you very much, and go ahead and shoot your comments in. But it's goodbye. Good morning, okay?
Good morning.
Adios, okay?